Hello, everyone. It's nice having everybody here today. My name is Folashade Ofulumen. I'm the Executive Director of Health, Education, and Empowerment Initiative Canada Incorporated. It's a non-profit here in Sussex, New Brunswick. Today is the first day of our program, Wonder Earth. This program is the first topic for today is cancer, and join me in enjoying the program. I will start by introducing the program. It's a public health education program that was designed November 6th of last year by Eden Canada. And it's a community-led, library-based public health enlightenment program that is designed to bring accessible, culturally relevant, and practical health knowledge to every resident in the community. So, what does this program involve? It involves talks like this, demonstrations, videos, role plays, walks. As time goes on in this program, we'll be having physical activities that we will do that helps us to promote our healthy living. But right now we are in winter, so we will not be doing physical activities outdoor, but we can come up with something for the indoors. So it's simple, it's enjoyable, and it's community home. Wonder Earth today is the first day, premiere of it, January 8th, 2026. And it's going to be holding every second Thursday of the month. So, what is cancer? Cancer is caused it's a disease that is caused by uncontrolled division of the cells in the part of the body. So, what are we saying? The cells are what makes up the body, right? But one cell just wake up one day and say, I'm not going to be going, everybody is going like this. I'm not going like this, I'm going like this. And what it means by going like this is it's multiplying unnecessarily and it's taking over. That is what we call cancer. Now, cancer causes a lot of death worldwide. In 2020 alone, over 10 million people died from cancer. In 2020, that is a serious problem, right? Now, what are the types of cancer? Cancer in the lung. Every part of the body we have can have cancer. In the lung, in the stomach, anywhere in the eyes, name it. Any part of the human body can have cancer. But for men, it's common in the lungs, in the prostate, in the colons, in the stomach, in the liver. While for women, it's common in the breast, in the colon, the lung, and cervical cancer also. Thyroid cancer is common in the women. These statistics is according to the World Health Organization. So this is just a brief breakdown of what cancer is. Now, how serious is the problem? Besides the number of people like 10 million, this is the breakdown. For breast cancer in 2020, we have 2.26 million cases. When we talk about cases, that means the number of people that have that cancer. In 2020 alone, all over the world, 2.26 million people had breast cancer. 2.21 had lung cancer. Colon and rectum, 1.93 million. Prostate, 1.4 million. Skin cancer, 1.2. And stomach cancer, 1.09. This is a huge problem. So that is why we decided this is a topic we need to talk about, because it's a very serious problem for all these kind of cases to be coming up. Now, besides the number of cases, in 2020 alone, 1.8 million people died from lung cancer. That is a serious problem. For colon and rectum, 916,000 people died. For liver, 830. For stomach, 769,000, and breast cancer, 685. So that means we need to think, if this thing, there are too many people having it, and many people are dying from it, that means we need to think and say, what can we do so that we don't be among these people, right? There is something, the concept of age and cancer. We might think, oh, cancer is just for old people. No, no, unfortunately, children can have cancer. And every year, about 400,000 children have cancer. This is really painful. 400,000 children every year have cancer. And among the old people, there is more likelihood for them to have cancer as they grow older. As they grow older, the more likelihood that they will get cancer is very, very high. I have a video here that I found on the net, which I would like us to watch. This video really breaks down what cancer is. It's very interesting. Enjoy.
Somewhere in your body, your immune system just quietly killed one of your own cells, stopping it from becoming cancer and saving your life. It does that all the time. The vast majority of cancer cells you develop will be killed without you ever noticing, which is an incredibly hard job because of what cancer cells are. Parts of yourself that start to behave as individuals even if it hurts you. What is cancer and how does your body kill it all the time? Cancer is when corrupted cells multiply uncontrollably. It can emerge from basically every type of cell in your body, so there's not just a single type of cancer, but hundreds. Some grow slowly, others are aggressive, some can be treated effectively, others are deadly. In a sense, a cell that becomes cancer turns into something ancient and something new. Over billions of years, evolution has molded cells to survive and thrive in a hostile environment, fighting for space and resources. Until a new and exciting way of life emerged, cooperation, a division of labor that allowed cells to specialize and become more successful together. But cooperation requires sacrifices. For a multicellular being to stay healthy, the well-being of the collective has to matter more than the survival of the individual cell. Cancer cells stop being part of the collective and become individuals again. Your body can handle a few rogue cells, but some cancer cells divide again and again, becoming a sort of new organism within you, taking resources you need to survive, competing for the space you inhabit, destroying the organs they were part of in the process. Despite the harm they cause, cancer cells are not evil. They don't want to hurt you. They don't want anything. Cells aren't protein robots that just follow their programming, which unfortunately has been corrupted. The soul of the cell. In a nutshell, your cells have a nucleus filled with DNA. It consists of genes, instructions for how to build proteins, and when to make each one. These building instructions are copied and transferred to ribosomes, where they're used to make proteins. What kind of proteins your cells make determine what they can do. The important thing here is that a corrupt gene means you get a corrupt protein, which will get important later. Your DNA gets a tiny bit corrupted. It mutates tens of thousands of times each day. Most of the time without any special cause, just by being alive. Almost all of these mutations are fixed very quickly, or are not problematic. Still, over time, as your cells make copies of themselves, damage is accumulating. Imagine having to make copies from copies from copies for decades. Maybe one day a hair got on the scanner, or a corner got frayed. Each new mistake becomes part of the new copies and all the copies that follow. You can increase DNA damage by doing things like smoking, drinking alcohol, by being obese, breathing in asbestos, by not using sunscreen, or contracting a virus like HPV. But the simplest way to damage DNA and get cancer is to be alive long enough. For many cancer cases, there is no cause other than bad luck. The damage that leads to cancer. We are simplifying, but roughly there are three categories of genes that need to be corrupted so cancer can arise. The first key mutation is in the appropriately named tumor suppressor genes, or TSGs. These genes are a bunch of things. For one, they produce control mechanisms that continuously scan your DNA for mistakes and copying errors and fix them right away, and then they keep normal cells from multiplying recklessly. If TSGs become damaged, your cells basically forget how to repair themselves and can reproduce unchecked. The second crucial mutation can happen in your oncogenes. When oncogenes are turned on, the cell is told to multiply rapidly. They were superactive when you were inside your mother's womb. To turn a single original cell into trillions in months, it needs to divide and grow rapidly. These rapid growth genes are turned off when there's enough of you. When your oncogenes get corrupted, they basically turn on again. The third crucial mutation is in your cell's suicide switch. Most cells are constantly recycled and refreshed. When cells amass too much damage, they usually notice, and special genes trigger a controlled suicide called apoptosis. If the genes that control this process get damaged, cells are free to live on despite being dangerously corrupted. So, if a cell becomes unable to fix the mistakes in its genetic code, loses the ability to destroy itself when it notices the damage, and begins to grow rapidly without restraint, it turns into a young cancer cell. These cells have to be killed as quickly as possible. While they are bad at this stage, they are still pretty weak and easy to kill. But if they continue to mutate and increase in number, they can learn to avoid your defenses and become a real threat. At any moment of your life, your immune system is hunting these cells. But how do you identify and kill corrupted cells that seem indistinguishable from healthy ones? How to fight cancer? Well, here we come back to the proteins your cells produce and the story they tell. So if, for example, your oncogenes switch back on, they make oncogene proteins. Your immune system knows that they should not be present if you're an adult. So to know which cells are corrupt and which are healthy, your immune system needs to know what proteins they're making inside. To solve this, evolution came up with MHC class I molecules, a sort of display window that makes cells transparent. Cells constantly take little samples of the proteins they make and put them into thousands of these MHC molecules to showcase what they're doing. The selection is constantly refreshed, always giving an up-to-date picture. There's a whole library of proteins that are highly dangerous and should not be made by healthy cells, and your immune system has them all on file. It has billions of specialized cells called T cells made to recognize specific proteins. If a T cell sees a forbidden protein in an MHC display window, it knows that the cell is corrupted and kills it immediately. But there's a flaw in this system. What if a cancer cell mutates and finds a way to circumvent this process? All it needs to do is to stop making MHC class I molecules and boom, it's invisible. Without display windows, the immune system is blind and can't identify cancer anymore. Fortunately, evolution found an ingenious solution: the natural killer cell, the judge, jury, and executioner. The killer. At this very second, hundreds of millions of natural killer cells are patrolling your body, looking for cells that have already turned into cancer or are corrupted by a virus. Natural killer cells go from cell to cell to check for one thing. Does a cell have MHC class I molecules? Does it have a display window, and is it doing its duty of showing off what's going on inside itself? This is so amazing because it covers all of your bases. While T cells look for the presence of the unexpected, something that should not be here, natural killer cells look for the absence of the expected, the absence of something that should be here. The logic is, if a cell does not have display windows, it wants to hide something, and a cell that hides something must be killed. What makes the natural killer cell even more lethal is that it's always in murder mode. It patrols your body, checking cell after cell with the intention of killing it. Your healthy cells have to convince it that they should not die today. And a way to do that is to have MHC class I molecules. So, in summary, almost all the other cancer cells you will ever develop in your life will be killed by your immune system. Okay, but if your body is this prepared, why do we still get cancer? Well, sometimes cancer cells mutate more and get much better at fighting back. Cancer is a story of an arms race that we will win eventually, maybe with the help of natural killer cells. Right now, a number of therapies are beginning to show amazing promise, from cancer-fighting vaccines to engineered T cells and even natural killer cells. We'll look at these therapies in future videos. So the war is not won yet, but we are on to cancer, and eventually it will be eliminated once and for all. Maybe sooner than we think. This video was made possible in part by direct viewer support and in part through a grant by Gates Ventures.
So, I hope you enjoyed the video. What the video is telling us is naturally in our body we have the opportunity to destroy cancer cell, which is a good news considering what cancer can do to the body. But the problem is sometimes the cancer cell have become wise and they disguise and the body cannot see them on time. That is why we have them growing in quantity. That video is really very, you can see it has a lot of cartoons and whatever. It's available, you can check for it on YouTube. So
Somewhere in your body.
now we go back to the causes of cancer. What are the things that causes cancer? They are into three categories: physical, chemical, and biological. Physical is what we can see, what's in the environment, what is outside of us, which is, for example, ultraviolet rays or ionizing radiation. This is just basically, there's some, let me say, environments where they make bombs, all those chemicals, they give out radiation. You can't see them, but they affect our health. And a very good example of how radiation affects our health is the bomb that was dropped in Japan, the nuclear bomb. That is the one that was known as Hiroshima and Nagasaki. That is a perfect example of what radiation does. You will not be able to see it immediately, but the effect is still there today. So, then chemicals, asbestos. There used to be some form of ceiling that they used to use in those days that has asbestos. It was killing people gradually. Tobacco, smoking. Tobacco has evolved today. Now it's not just those ones that we used to smoke that used to be big, like you do like this. Now it comes in all forms of shade. Vaping, shisha, it's very, very interesting. They have many flavors and smell, and makes us feel like it's not bad because it is tasting nice, it's smelling nice, but it's still the same thing. They are just putting it in packaging. It's just like you want to buy. Let me give you an example of what we want to buy. A bottle water. If you go to a superstore, the superstore, for example, you can buy a big pack for like $5 or $6. But by the time you take it to the airport, the same bottle water, they will tell you one is $5. It used to, because it is packaged. So the same thing, that tobacco now is being packaged for us to look at it is better, but it's not. Alcohol, all forms of alcohol, especially when we take it too much. Alcohol in itself has some good effects for the body, but abuse of it, taking too much of it. Chemicals in our food, some food that is spoiled, that has grown mold and what have you. Like I think, when did I cook this food now? It was just 3 days ago. I can just scrape away those things that grew on the no. That the food is contaminated. The same thing with drinking water. Sometimes if we grow up in an environment that has oil, natural petroleum, you see the water having some oily look on the top, like in the rivers. That's another form of contamination. Then biology, viruses, bacteria, parasites. How does this one come in? It's like they come in to attack the body's immune system. So when the body immune system is already weak, it may start to misbehave and begin to multiply unnecessarily and cause cancer. So that is just the basic way to break down what causes cancer. Because when we know what causes cancer, we can be like, okay, what can I do about it? That brings us to the risk factors. Risk factors is basically what are the things that make somebody prone or susceptible or likely to have that problem. The same thing we have talked about cancer, tobacco, consumption of it in any form, alcohol consumption, unhealthy diet, especially diet that is very high in sugar. Many of us are not aware of this because sugar is sweet. Even me, when I was younger, I used to go to the bowl of sugar and just be eating it because it's sweet. Everybody loves it. But when we consume sugar a lot, the problem is cancer feed on sugar. So it's like I just giving it food. It, that's it. So but if you don't give somebody food, the person will be like, I don't think they want me here. The person will go away. But when you keep giving it food, they like me. Oh, they just be getting bigger and bigger and fat. So that is the problem with eating too much sugar. Physical inactivity. We are always at home. We don't go outside. No exercise. No work. We're just eating. We're getting big, big. All other diseases come with obesity, hypertension, cholesterol, name it. So, and one thing with disease is when one has come and settled down, you go and call his friend. You can come here. Okay, I think there is space in this place is very nice. So when that one come, there's this space. You go and call another disease. That's the way I can describe it. So the best thing is when we have one health issue, let's be on it. Let's work on it so that it doesn't get bad and be like what I'm saying, like it's inviting his own friends. Then air pollution, where they are burning waste, or where gas from petrol, the fume for it. There are so many forms of air pollution that we know. Another one is indoor air pollution. We used to have fleet, this aerosol that we used to kill bugs, mosquitoes. That thing is good because it kills the bug, but it's a chemical that can cause cancer. So we have to look at it and follow the instruction. When we use it, we wash our hands. And they will tell you don't fleet it when you are inside. So when you fleet it, you go out. You give it time to dissipate. So those are some things that can increase our rate of getting cancer. How do we prevent it? It's essentially the opposite. No use of tobacco, having a good body weight, involving putting more fruits and vegetables into our food, regular physical activity, low or no alcohol consumption, HPV vaccination. This vaccination is only for people who have not had sexual intercourse. It's only for them. So once the person has had sexual intercourse, it's no longer, and it has an age range, if I can remember very well. And hepatitis B, so getting the vaccination for hepatitis B is also very good. Then avoiding exposure to all those forms of radiation we have talked about, which is sun. And some people go into this tanning, they do some artificial tanning now, they want to get darker. So those chemicals, they are not good for our body. Then appropriate use of therapeutic radiation. If we have X-ray, MRI, all those things are radiation. If they are used properly, it is not dangerous to our body because we are not using it every day. But when we say for whatever reason we just want to be going to do X-ray all the time for no medical prescription for it, then we are putting ourselves at risk. So early diagnosis, what are the things that can help? Being aware of the different forms of cancer. Each type of cancer, like we've discussed, has different symptoms. What is a symptom? A symptom is a sign that there might be a problem here. So like I have headache now, maybe something is wrong in my body. If I tell you, the symptoms for cervical cancer includes backache, leg ache, you now go and put it in your mind. Shade said if stomach backache and leg ache is symptom for cervical cancer, and I have backache and I have leg ache, that means I have cervical cancer. No. You have to go to the doctor. You have to seek the doctor's advice, the physician. He is the one that can say, okay, go to the hospital, go to the lab for tests and whatever, let us know if the type, whatever the issue is, because it may not be. There are different issues have similar symptoms that look alike, but the physician is able to know this is what this is, this is what this is. So then, after we have been given the diagnosis, let us go early for the treatment. Because like and when I called the emergency line for they did not pick it, they just keep me on hold. I will call them again tomorrow, and then you let another week go. I will call them, I was just too tired. I will call them again tomorrow. Before you know what's happening, 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And one thing with cancer or any disease is the earlier the better. Once we are able to identify that problem early and we start working on it, better for you. What are the forms of treatment? There are different types of treatment. It depends on the type of the cancer, and it depends also on the person that is being treated. Let me give an example. Somebody who is a baby that has cancer, and somebody who is an adult that has cancer, and let's say they want to do chemotherapy. You know that the dose they will give to the person that is older will be different from the dose that will give to that's what I'm saying. So the same thing, the type of cancer, the person, the individual will determine the type of treatment. Treatment includes surgery, radiotherapy, chemotherapy, hormonal treatment. There are so many. It's the doctor that can decide what is best for each individual. And they can give the person options. And the person will be like, I think I will prefer this based on the side effect or the cost, or whatever it is. Then it's also important to complete that procedure. Remember, sometimes when maybe we have stomach ache and the doctor gave us antibiotics. It says 2 tablets in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 at night for 1 week. And we do it day 1 because that thing is paining us. Day 2 is paining me. Day 3, I'm feeling better. I don't think why should I? Well, we just leave it. We will not finish the prescription. Many of us do it. It's a problem. You know what this does? Let me give you an example. It's like the disease is like a stranger that came into your house and now take maybe cane, flog it. You know, when you first of all start flogging it, it will be strong. But when you continue and you continue and you continue, you got to a point it will be like, please, right? But if you flog it very, very well, you got to a point that it can't do anything again, right? So now you flog it, and he's telling you, please, please, and you're like, maybe it's already tired now. The disease is tired, so let me leave it. You know what you have taught it? You have let the disease know that when time I come to their house, they have cane. So when I'm coming next time, I'm going to bring bomb so that when I just enter like this, just be bam. Like you don't even have time to use your cane. You have strengthened it. So that is why any treatment, not only for this cancer, let us finish that treatment. Let's complete it. So that we don't give this disease an opportunity to develop like a bodyguard against our treatment. Now, this is one of the favorite sections I like in this program, myth. For many diseases, there is always one myth or the other that people believe. I'm going to be talking about just 3 of them for cancer. One of them is, once you have cancer, that's the end. That person will just die. There is no hope. It's a lie. That somebody has cancer is not a death sentence. There are many people that have beat cancer, even children beat cancer. Some people have even beat it 2 times. It's not that once somebody has cancer, that's it. No. So many things determine if the person will live or not, which is one of those things we are talking about, early detection, following the treatment. All those kinds of things determine if the person will live or will die. So it's not all people that have cancer that die. They'll be like, cancer is old people's problem. It's all those old people that have cancer. It's a lie. Children have cancer. We have seen it today. About 400,000 children every year have cancer. So it's not just children, adults. Then mammogram causes breast cancer. What is mammogram? Mammogram is a process where they check the breast of a woman to see if there is any lump, abnormal shape, whatever, to determine something is wrong here. What can we do? Do we need to operate the person and take away that lump? Or some people say, it will cause breast cancer. It's a lie. It does not cause breast cancer. It prevents breast cancer because it shows us how to identify the abnormal growth in the breast. It shows us. And that reminds me of some of the programs we've done in the past where we talk about how to check yourself for breast cancer. So that might be one of the topics you might think about in the future to talk about, because there are some things we can do as women personally that we can use to know if there is an abnormal growth in our breast. So we have an activity to do, and I really like this activity section because it then gives us the opportunity to act on what we have learned. But before the activity section, I will put explanation of what you are supposed to do. It is just to create an awareness or an empowerment and informed action that will make you act on what you have learned. There is nothing like it is right or it is wrong. No. We are going to if you look at it, there is 4 boxes there. Reflect, relearn, act, try. So it's to first of all make us to think, what is it that I learned today that I have not known before, that I can, something new? Is there a question I have or one feeling I'm thinking? Write it down in that section of reflect. Then in the type of relearn, what is something new that I've never known about it entirely? You can put it down there. Which of these myths did you know? Or if you have any myth that we have not mentioned, you can also talk about it. Then in the box for action, what action can I take? We call it like baby steps. We cannot change automatically. Somebody who has been smoking for how many years? It's not easy to stop. Somebody who has been drinking alcohol and getting drunk all the time, it's not easy to stop. Somebody who eats a lot of sugar, it's not easy to stop. But what is one thing can I do? What one thing can I do? I can decide that anytime I want to eat donut, I'm not put sugar on it again. Even if I start from there, it's something. Because some people, the donut is already sweet. They will not pour raw sugar on that donut again. You can decide not to do that. Then what conversation can I start? In my family, is there an habit we have as a family that I can say, let's start thinking is there something we can do to stop? Maybe in our family, we'll be like, I want to sleep, but there is so much work, I want to stay in the house. And instead of us to go out, when we finish praying, we stay inside. And we start talking about, let's have a timetable. When we spray this thing, let's go out. Let's not stay inside. Now, on that drive, one thing that helps me feel stronger, from what we have discussed so far, what is one thing that gives you that makes you feel, I can do it? And what is one to support that you have chosen? Is it that you have thought I think I need to speak to my doctor? It's one of it, because so many people, when they go to see their doctor, they will tell the doctor half of their problem. They will carry the other half home. Because they are ashamed. They are shy. They don't want to talk. They are like, how do I tell the doctor that my breast is paining me? Because if you say, let me look at this breast, even if it's a female, it's not easy for us to show our body to other people. So you'll be like, let me give you a very funny story. There was a young lady, like 17, 18 years old. So she found that she has some infection in her private part. All her thighs is peeling, there is wound, everything there. So she went to see the doctor. So when she got there, she said, Doctor, I'm very sick. I have something. Doctor, what do people do if, for example, you have a wound? Like maybe you put elastic around your hand for a long time, and that elastic now cut it. Then there is now wound in that place. The doctor says, so what kind of elastic? No, now very strong one. You put it around your hand, for example, and there is wound there. The doctor said, okay, so what kind of, now, it will peel, it's smelling, and sometimes there might be water coming out. You get what I'm saying? The doctor was like, where is the wound? What can somebody use? If you don't tell me where the wound is, I cannot help. It is a true life story. She had to tell the doctor that it's in my private part. The doctor was like, so that's what you are calling elastic and saying something is in your hand. It turns out that she has toilet infection. But because she didn't want to talk, she suffered for several months. The thing has become serious wound on her body. And it's not as if she's even doing anything bad. It's just toilet infection because she's living in a house where they are using pit toilet. So all the rash, all the heat from she got it, but she was so shy. She suffered a lot. It took a lot of medication to cure it. So, but what can I do? Have I decided at any spot when I go to see the doctor, I will open up my mouth and tell him everything that is happening. Even if that is the choice. Or I want to tell my wife what I'm feeling. And yeah, I think this place is paining me. There's this place, I don't know what's going on. Because a lot of men are very shy to talk. Men have been taught to be tough. You have to be a man. Don't say it, you have to toughen up. What's wrong with you? You're a man. That is a problem. Because many men will be like, how can I tell my wife that this place is paining me? How do I want to? What they say, shame, now I'm ashamed. How do I want to say it to my wife? But if you decide, I will tell my wife today. And you know us now, when we hear one thing like this, we act on it, right? With our women, we don't waste time. With the women, we don't waste time. So I want us to feel this. You don't have to feel everything. You can just choose which of them do you want to write on. So let us take a few minutes to put something down. But in the meantime, I will take a little time to give a little overview of what we have talked so far while you are writing your own reflect. So the most common cancer for men, lung cancer, prostate cancer, stomach cancer. For women, breast cancer, colorectal, cervical, thyroid. And every year about 10 million people die from this. So that is one of the things we've discussed, like an overview that maybe it can help you, guide you in what you want to write down. And cancer is just a cell that decides to go abnormally. Everybody is going this way. The cell woke up and say, no, why should I go like this and go like this? It starts misbehaving. It starts over multiplying. Now, it's very serious. These are the number of people that have cancer every year. It's a serious problem. Over 2 point something million every year after breast cancer, stomach cancer, lung cancer, skin cancer, prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is a very serious problem among men. And an annual checkup can help. Just go to your doctor and request for an annual checkup. And a lot of people also die from cancer. This is like the statistics of number of people that died from cancer in 2020, from lung cancer, from stomach cancer, liver cancer, breast cancer. And We mentioned also that even children can have cancer, unfortunately. And as we grow older, we are more likely to develop cancer. And we watched a video, but we will not be able to watch it again. And then that brings us to the question and answer. Do you have any question?
Is cancer genetical?
Yes, genetics is part under the biology. Genetically, you may be more prone to having cancer. A family where there is breast cancer among the women, there are more likelihood of the women having breast cancer. Let me give an instance. I have a cousin. She's related to me through her father, but on her mother's side, breast cancer is very common. In fact, it claimed one of our aunties. But there was one of them that they caught the breast cancer on time. They discovered that there's a kind of lump on her breast, and she was operated, even while pregnant. She was operated while pregnant, the lump was removed, and she could breastfeed normally. So, does that answer your question?
Yeah.
Any other question?
So,
Yeah.
if we start fasting, if we eat less, can it reduce the possibilities of having cancer? Because we are not taking sugar, we are taking less food, and if we are taking slow cooking food, will it reduce cancer possibilities?
Okay. So let's talk about eating less food. Eating less food is dependent on how much you have been eating before. Because like somebody like me, I don't eat much. If you tell me to eat less food, that means you don't want me to eat at all. So what have you been eating before? Are you eating a mountain of food? So you can choose to reduce it if you are finding that you are getting too big. Now, fasting is very good for the body. This is what fasting does. Fasting is like a factory reset. You know, if you buy your phone and your phone is giving you a problem, you take it to the people helping you to do it. They'll be like, we have to do factory reset. Have you heard it before? So when they press that button, everything do back to zero. Then you start again. So fasting is almost like that. Your body will be like, it is going, where is food? Where is food? There is no food. Oh yeah, what's going on here? You are misbehaving. You are having your cell is having two heads. You're supposed to have one. It will kill that one. This one, there's so much fat. So yeah, let us break down this fat. It will work on those extra things. So those extra fat on your body, the body will use it. Those cells that are not working well, it will go and focus on them because it's not working on digesting your stomach. Because digestion is really a serious business for the body. So when your body is relaxed, it doesn't have anything to do. It will start to clean. You know us women that when we have nothing to do at home, like I have to clean this television. Can I sweep? I can arrange my wardrobe today now. That is the same thing. So that is the advantage. In terms of slow cooking food, I can't necessarily say that will prevent cancer. Because there's some food that cooks very fast. So it's more of what are the food we are eating. Are we eating more of canned food? Canned food has, if you look at where the can is joined, there is lead there. So there is risk of lead poisoning if the lead seeps out. And you know, most of us, when we buy food, we put it in the cupboard. Baked beans, what have you. We just take it, open. We don't remember all the time to check the expiry date sometimes. Sometimes we have eaten expired food, we don't know. So expired food can also cause it. So when we reduce those canned food that we take more fresh food. If you want to eat beans, buy the raw beans, boil it, cook it. Avoid anything that is processed as much as you can because processing they add chemicals, they add preservatives. And those preservatives, when they are too much in your body, it makes it become toxic. Or if the food is expired and you don't know, it becomes toxic. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, but in our surrounding, if we go to the superstore, everywhere is processed food.
Yes.
We have no opportunity to buy the fresh food from the
Thank
farm.
you. Thank you. There are some stores that have fresh food produce. So I don't want to mention this on camera, but maybe at the end of this talk, I can mention some. There are some stores that have fresh food. One thing with fresh food is that it takes a little longer to make because you have to pick it, wash it, but it's the more delicious. It's more delicious. So there are some stores that makes that gives that has fresh things that we buy, but it's expensive.
Yes.
But there are some farms also around us that you can go to buy produce from them. So if you choose to go to the farms and buy them directly, and I don't know, there are some programs that I hear that has to do with cleaning, like the extra produce from the farm. I think there's a program on it. I don't know. I can find out a little more about that and let you know. Yeah.
I just wanted to ask about the impact of stress and sleep deprivation
Thank you.
on cancer.
Stress on anything at all is not good. Anything at all. Because it's like, let me give you an example. It's like, let me give an example. You know, when you put your alarm bell and you put it to 2 a.m., if you hear greening, you wake up like this, right?
Yeah.
Stress is putting your body like that. Your body is always at alert. It's not resting. It's not functioning. And stress will put cortisol on your body. And then it makes you get more weight. I have seen people that had weight just because they are stressed. It's not food though. It's just stress. So it's not good. Stress and lack of sleep is not good on your body because during the sleep, your body settles down and starts to do that cleaning we're talking about, checking for things to do. It's just like a machine. You know, every day you come, you start this machine, every day you start it, and you don't give the machine any time to rest. It will break down. So stress and lack of sleep is, for any disease at all, it's not good. Though it's not directly related, there might be research on it that shows stress is linked to cancer. That is true. But it's not directly, but it's a risk factor. That is something that makes us prone to it. You have any question?
What is the symptom of thyroid cancer?
Cancer, okay. I will now want to mention symptoms. No, I told you before. Because if I mention symptoms now, she said that I'll be coughing. And I've been coughing since 3 days ago. I think I have thyroid cancer. And you're growing up and down. And you'll be scared to even go home and tell the doctor. So I'll suggest, even if you have that question, ask your doctor directly. He will ask you, why are you asking for the symptoms of thyroid cancer? And then you can tell him how you are feeling. And then he can help. So I will deliberately refuse to mention all those symptoms. Like I know I told you, I know that this question will come up. That was why I said no, I'm not going to mention symptoms. Unless we are talking about thyroid cancer specifically. Like if the topic for discussion today is thyroid cancer, then I will mention that. But for this particular one, I'm not going to. But we can always talk after the class. Any other question?
I'm thinking that if we have a family doctor, we can always do regular checkup to do all your system. Maybe you do comprehensive checkup where they can check your thyroid, they can check your kidney, liver, diabetes, everything. I think they call it fasting blood sugar. So they will do everything at once. So for that kind of a thing, I think it's something that can be done once a year, every year. Because
How often?
So normally, for general body checkup is once in a year. For breast cancer, I think annually until up to 1 year. Like every other 2 years, if I'm right. Depends on the country. There are some countries that makes it once a year. There are some countries that makes it maybe once in 2 years. Then depending on the age of the person, depending on if the person have had it before, then it can now be like okay, they will. So it's the doctor that will choose like tell you the program that is suitable for that breast cancer. But for generally everybody as an adult, we need to be having annual body checkup. So that way we can just know that everything is going well. We can catch it on time if something is not going well. Or for example, somebody who is pre-diabetic, that means diabetes has not come, but the person is at the borderline. So if they tell you the person you are pre-diabetic, oh, I don't want to be diabetic, you can begin to work on every other thing to reduce the way you take sugar or what is causing you. So that's a good suggestion. Any other question?
What if my friend here is smoking and I don't smoke and we are in the same, maybe we work together? Am I prone to cancer?
Thank you. It's a very nice question. Yes, if you stay when that person is smoking it, it's not because the person is your friend though. It's because when that person was smoking that cigarette, you were standing there. That's what we call secondary smoking.
Acid.
Yes. And you know what is unfortunate is that when somebody smokes, the one they inhale is not as dangerous as the one that comes out. So the one that comes out is more dangerous than the one that they are inhaling. So you that are standing beside them, you are taking the most dangerous part of it. So you are exposing yourself, and and I like this question because even children, that comes to parents. As parents, we need to make sure that our children we don't expose them. If we smoke, let's go away from where our children are when we are smoking. Let's not smoke inside the car. Let's not smoke inside the house because secondary smoking is real. The secondary smoke it kills. It has very little effect on the health. Any other question on that?
Yeah, I have a question. I was thinking in my mind that I donate blood regularly.
You don't?
Donate
Okay.
blood regularly. So when I donate blood, do they screen everything in my blood because they are giving it to another person who is sick or weak? So before giving that blood to another person,
Yeah.
do they check everything? And if there is any issue they find in my blood, will they let me know?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
they do screen all the blood that is donated.
Yeah.
They screen it and see that if there is any issue or whatever, they can clean and whatever. And if they check the blood and find maybe, for example, HIV, hepatitis, they will let the person that donated it know that while we were screening this blood, we found this. You need to see the doctor. So they do that. That's one thing that goes with blood transfusion. They don't just take it out and they just give like that.
So donating is blood so regularly and let us know that we are healthy.
It's not necessarily so.
It's not necessary.
It's not necessary because your blood that you donated may not necessarily show that you have another issue in your body. It may not show. So the way to know is to go for that checkup. To go for the checkup. The doctor will recommend, oh, you need to do X-ray, you need to do MRI, you need to do your urine because there are different forms of tests. There are some that they use with your blood, some they use with your urine, some they use with your feces. So doing that annual checkup is the key to catching them. Okay. That said, it's your turn to lead. What is going to be our next topic? What do you want us to talk about next month? anything, any health issue.
Mental health.
Mental health. Thank you. Anybody has anything to say?
She was saying something.
Yeah.
Talk about the thyroid.
Thyroid. Okay. Okay. We can always talk about that one at the end. So, in terms of mental health, I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. We know the topic for next month is mental health, and it's a very good topic because it's a very burning issue in Canada. Many people have mental health issues. Some have undiagnosed mental health issues. So if they don't diagnose it, how do you want to treat it? So I'm inviting you to our next program coming up February 12th at 6 p.m. right here in the library, and we'll be talking about mental health. So we also have the donation link, this QR code or the link if you want to donate to the program. We appreciate your attendance. Thank you so much for being here today. It's a very interesting program. Everybody was lively, everybody asked questions, and we are open to suggestions. This is our program. We want to build the community's health through this program. So our attendance, our comments, our questions helps us all to learn. Because some of the questions you asked, I have learned from it. Some of the comments she made, I have learned from it. And that way, we build the health of the community together. Thank you.
I think one thing I want to do differently because of this talk is that I want to make sure I eat plenty of vegetables, eat well to protect my health. Because here in Canada, when you have health issues, you may be on the waiting list for the next 10 months. And what happens to me? For then, maybe I will have died before the doctor can see me. So let me take action to start eating well. Not to be eating everything sugar, or I will be very, very careful what I eat. I want to eat more of vegetables, more of avoid much of GMO, genetically modified food. That's what I want to do.
That's a good
And
one.
I also want to also have my own garden
That's a nice
where
one.
I can have fresh. I know it's expensive, but health is wealth. I don't want something that will keep me on bed for 1 month. I can't go anywhere. I can't go to work. I can't do anything. So that's one thing. Under my act, I will write it here.
Okay. Thank you
Act,
for
one
sharing.
small action I can take.
Thank you for sharing your own action. Does anybody want to share anything? Maybe the reflection, maybe it's the relearning. Do you want to share anything in your quadrant? What did you learn differently? What are you thinking about? What conversation do you want to discuss?
I believe this kind of conversation is helpful, even though we know
Yes, you are right.
sometimes we need to get ourselves reminded.
Good.
We know, but we need to be reminded.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a nice one. So engaging in conversations like this, that is something. So being at this program is a very nice venue for us to remind each other, for us to share and see that we are not alone. Because like I said at the beginning of this program, we'll be having physical activities as part of this program. So right now it's winter, we will not be able to do physical activities outside, but we can begin to link at maybe by March, since we have chosen mental health for this month. By March, we can think of what physical activity can we do inside to promote our health. Maybe it could be physical activity and something. So when we do that other one, then we'll do the physical activity so that we improve our health, because it's going to be quarterly. The physical activity is going to be quarterly. So that's one thing. Thank you for sharing that. Anybody else want to share anything?
Yeah, she said something.
Uncle say you was.
She says she's a good housewife who cook every day. Fresh meal for us.
Good.
Look after
That's good. That she's a good housewife cooking fresh meal. Thumbs up for you. That's it. Fresh meal is very good. Cooking every day is very good. And it's very easy these days now. Social media makes life easy. You can just go to YouTube or whatever and search how to cook this. Like for instance, I bought a vegetable yesterday. I've never bought it before. It's Gian Long or something. It's a Chinese vegetable. I was just like, I'm going to buy it. And I searched online for how it is cooked, but you know the way the Chinese will cook will be different from the way I will cook. So I asked what vegetable is similar to this vegetable in Nigeria. And then ChatGPT gave me that, oh, that vegetable is similar to what we call efo igbo in Nigeria. Because that vegetable is a little bitter. So now I'm going to experiment. I may be able to cook it and enjoy it, and I'll start buying it. Because we don't always see what we like here, what we are used to. So we have to learn which one can I use to supplement this, which one can I remove and add this. That's a very good one. Thank you so much everyone for coming.
Thank you.
We can, oh, thank you so much. We can always stay behind to have more discussion, but officially the program is ended. Thank you.
Let me feel this.